For most people driving through southern Illinois, this is just another small farming town. But tucked inside a former cookie factory is a state-of-the-art indoor cannabis cultivation facility. And this isn't just one of the cleanest and most thoughtfully designed cannabis facilities we've ever filmed. It's a place built by a team of down-to-earth individuals with decades of experience who are leaning into technology to harvest some of the best versions of their favorite strains. And the equipment they're using for environmental controls, LED lighting, and curing cannabis are definitely worth paying attention to. So today, we're heading inside Elevate Cannabis to see how a small town team is combining old school genetics, modern technology, and Midwest values to grow some incredible flower. I'm Nate Lipton, and this is CannaCribs. So we're here in DuQuoin, Illinois, a town you probably never heard of. It's about 5,000 people, and it is surrounded by cornfields and agriculture. But we're at Elevate's newest facility. It just opened about a year ago, and it's taking decades of cannabis veterans' experience, some old school genetics, and some amazing technology that has refined it into probably one of the slickest and most tidy cannabis growing operations we've ever been to. Let's go inside and see what they're up to. So Ian, you're the COO of Elevate Cannabis, and we're super happy to be here, first off, so thank you. Tell me a little bit about your story, like not starting Elevate, I mean, back to like, how did you even get into the cannabis industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was born and raised in Colorado. Cannabis was always a big part of, kind of the culture out there. I look at this booming industry, and I'm saying, wow, this could be really interesting.
Wow, and you mentioned you were growing non-cannabis plants.
I grow giant pumpkins, or at least I was there for a while. It's actually very similar. It has some parallels to cannabis, right? It's all about getting that right genetic that's going to work in the environment that you're growing.
Wow. Yeah. So people, just like they cross cannabis strains, they're crossing strains.
Pumpkins, yeah.
And what's like the biggest pumpkin you've ever grown?
I think it was 470. I think it was a 470.
470 pounds.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah.
One of the reasons we're filming at Elevate in Illinois is, one, it's your newest facility.
Yep.
And two, it's taking the learnings of, you're a cannabis veteran with decades of experience, taking all those learnings to this new facility, which has 5,000 square feet of canopy.
Yep.
But some of the most state-of-the-art equipment and equipment that you guys have chosen over years of trials and testing. This building is like a giant rectangle. Was this here before you guys got here? This building?
Yeah, it was. So it's actually, funny enough, it was a cookie factory.
And not Cookies the brand. We're talking. We're talking
chocolate chip
grandma's
cookies,
cookies.
Oatmeal raisin, whatever. Yeah, exactly.
And we walked into this facility and opened the door, and there's like the longest hallway.
The longest hallway of all time, right?
Yeah. And every room seems to break off of that main hallway.
Correct. Yep.
You guys designed that purposefully.
Yep. Absolutely. Eventually, all these facilities are going to need to be GAP certified, right? So that was in the back of mind when we were designing this. Good agricultural practices.
Yeah.
It's kind of the federal standard. Getting the design right from the beginning, and really diving into the environmental side of it. Environment is one thing that you cannot skimp on. You can't skimp on your HVAC systems at all. Redundancy is a huge thing. You don't want to just go put one unit on any of these rooms. If that happens to go down, you have a compressor go down in one of these rooms, you can really end up in a bad spot.
Well, what was it like building this facility from the ground up, being there from day one?
Very fast-paced, a lot of seasoned individuals in the Elevate company. So a lot of know-how. They had done this before, I had done this before. We did in about 9 months what I think takes most facilities 2 to 3 years to achieve. Dialing in our parameters, everything from processes, procedures, environmentals, it's all a challenge.
I always kind of joke, it's old school genetics in a new school way, right? The state-of-the-art facility that we built. We like to grow a lot of these strains that have some land race still in. I think there's something unique to still hang on to where the plant originated from.
Here in Illinois, we have about 40 varieties on site. Some of our varieties, like our black maple, just always throw down. Always test super high, has a wicked gassy nose. Like I'm a big gas fan, so that one's right up my alley.
Black maple's great. That's That strain's fantastic. It's a really awesome strain. Grapefruit Durban, our white poison, that actually goes back to that white poison. It's an old cut of the white crossed with the Durban poison.
So the grapefruit Durban, you still get that Durban poison taste to it. You get that wrap around your head.
Super tasty. You know, it tastes like citrus with a little bit of hints of like pink grapefruit and then spice on the back end. And then it has like a very calming and uplifting feeling, all in of the same. It's very sativa leaning, so you're energetic and you could go out.
Lemon G is awesome. It's different than what most people are looking for in a strain because it's not high THC.
People hunt for that high THC, that super amazing high, but there is a massive population out there who wants to just relax. They don't want to go through their day feeling high. They just want to be calm. And Lemon G will offer you that. It's got that perfect combination of CBD to THC. I would promote Lemon G to anyone I know.
This Pineapple Planet is awesome, absolutely delicious. It's like super resinous. It has a very, almost like a dull pineapple juice smell to it. It has like hints of grape. It has Planet of the Grapes in its lineage. Heavy on the indica side as well. So it's really gonna put you down, put you in the couch. This headband cookies is awesome. This was actually hunted in-house by our team as well. So this one's been around for a really long time. Super frosty. It has an incredible look when it comes out in finished flower. This Pave is one of our newer varieties. Huge buds. Has a really like menthol nose. It's gonna get you feeling good, feeling chatty, but also really relaxed as well and not super anxious. Oh, this gelato ice cream is awesome. Like super gassy, like very gelato nose to it. It's got that like creamy gelato flavor mixed with like gas and has a bite.
Well, Ian, we're in DuQuoin, Illinois, which I thought it was Dequois. And I mean, this place ain't that big.
No, it's not. It's not. About 5,600 people live here in town.
Farm country.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys are farming.
Yeah, we were able to come into a smaller community and bring jobs. We've had, just fantastic people working for us. Danielle, who's actually our operations director, she was working at our facility in Cameron, Missouri, when Danielle goes, my family's from there. I want to actually move back and be closer to my family. We were like, of course. Like the stars aligned there with that.
This is not a densely populated area. I mean, how big is your team here, first off?
We have 28 individuals right now.
Is it hard to hire people around here?
It can be. It takes some time. We've definitely cultivated an amazing crew here. They're kind, they're efficient, they have the know-how.
So Bill has been hanging out with us, chaperoning us all around the facility because, we're children. We need an adult in the room.
That's me,
So who do you got to knock around in this facility? Who's the knucklehead?
Trevor. 100%.
I asked your dad who the biggest knucklehead was in this facility, and he said undoubtedly it was you.
I'm sure he did, and I don't doubt that. He likes to talk a lot. I got him the job here. Well, the boss lady gave him the job, but I have to keep him in line quite a bit here. He's the only one, but...
He told me to tell you to just kind of keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah.
He said that you used to swing at the baseball, and you would look at your dad, not at the baseball.
You're bringing up some dark memories, man. This is supposed to be a good interview.
So Justin, you're head of cultivation here at Elevate Cannabis. You actually told me something interesting. You spent some time at one of the universities in Utah with Dr. Bruce Bugbee.
Yep.
Very well known in the circle of cannabis cultivation and science. What were you guys working on there while you were a research assistant?
Yeah, so they were doing hemp and LED trials. So they were basically bringing in a bunch of different LEDs, looking at different spectrums, and just looking at plant growth response. They've really found that the red and the blue spectrums have definitively different effects on each other. Red will provide a lot of stretching out of a plant, and the blues will actually keep plants more squatty and let them fill out. So pretty fascinating stuff. I'm sure even in your own career of seeing the transition from HPS to LEDs and how much that's changed grows and how people grow, and LEDs are pretty amazing for that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, one of the reasons we wanted to chat with you specifically is to go over your process of how you start plants out in this facility. This bedroom has beautiful green plants that are so uniform. Tell us about your step-by-step process for success here.
Starts really at taking the best cuts possible, and then with our organic plugs, they've come in their own trays, pre-saturated, so that's super effective and easy for us to have our processes. We don't have to fill trays, we don't have to do anything, they're already preloaded. And we'll do a little bit of cloning gel on the hole for the actual clone itself, but not much at all. And then once we've stuck them, we just dome them up, close up the lids, make sure they're nice and sealed up, and then get them on their shelf, and then they're there for 14 days. Within those 14 days, we'll incrementally open up the windows 50% at a time through the first 8 days, and then full open for the last 6. After that 14-day period, they're kind of getting a little dried down, but you want that, you want the clones to really start looking for that moisture to really push those roots out. And at that day 14, we take our domes off, and then we'll do a resaturation, we call it, where we'll use RootShield to really get that trichoderma inoculated to make sure everything as far as our beneficial fungus and bacteria is under control. We'll just use hand pitchers and fill our trays with our clones, let them soak for a little while, get them fully inoculated, fully saturated, and then just drain them off. And we'll do that every other day for the next 7 days. So they usually get 2 to 3 RootShield applications, and then some additional beneficial mycorrhizae as well.
With RootShield Plus, we're seeing wider roots, we're seeing higher clone success rates, we're seeing in excess of 98% cloning success. We're seeing more healthy root systems, more root development, and it seems like we're getting quite a bit more root hairs and overall just robust plants as well. Not only does RootShield Plus protect against pathogens, it also is helpful for water uptake and nutrient absorption as well.
We have a very simple IPM protocol. We have a really good product that we like to use called Suffoil. Suffoil is a godsend. It really mitigates any leaf pathogens, anything from climbing up onto the plant itself. We use it to safely control insects and mites at every stage of their life cycle. It gives us reliable, broad-spectrum protection without putting unnecessary stress on the plants. And then some beneficial insects, and honestly, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so what beneficial insects do you guys use?
Yeah, so we use Swirsky and Ento mites. Entos are on the media level, and Swirskys are in little sachets that we put into the canopy. Between all of those things, we haven't seen any real pest problems.
What is that room, like temperature and humidity, that you like to keep for propagation?
Yeah, so propagation stays pretty humid. We're about 73 to 76% humidity. It's a bit cooler in there as compared to in here in veg. In veg, we're keeping about 80, 81. And in clone, we're actually about 77 to 79 in that range.
Interesting, and you found that works out best for you guys in terms of just plant health and success?
Yeah, I think overall it doesn't promote too much anaerobic stuff from happening, and it keeps powdery mildews or anything like that at bay. Found that if you get into the 80 degrees with the 70% and over humidity, you can start running into some pathogens.
You guys are turning out, really quality cannabis out of this facility. So let's talk about the granular parameters that you use to cultivate cannabis here.
We're really pushing things. We're stepping on the gas as fast as we can to really get these plants as large as we can, ready to pack on all the weight. So we're building that structure on the vegetative side of things, getting things nice and topped and branched out, really trying to get some uniform canopies and flower. We're using Growlink to control everything from irrigation, lighting, and dehumidification control, as well as all of the sensor technology in the facility facility as well. So we're using Growlink sensors to monitor our environments, and then also the TerraLink substrate sensors to measure EC and drybacks over the course of the day as well.
Growlink, I've worked with them for over a decade now. We've worked with them forever on environmental monitoring, but for our last 2 builds, the one in Kansas City, Missouri, and then the one here, we jumped in with the environmental control and monitoring. Jumping into like that aspect of it has been a game changer for us.
Oh man, I couldn't do it without Growlink. It's phenomenal. Like the monitoring capabilities are next level. There's all kinds of cool features in the platform as well. So you can set up alerts and alarms and things that really give you that extra level and layer of peace of mind, knowing that if an AC unit goes down, you're gonna get an alert. It's gonna tell you that a room is getting too hot or too humid, and you can respond to those issues sooner. And that could be the difference between having an incredible crop or losing a crop entirely. In each of our flower rooms, we have 50 tons of cooling and 8 Quest 335 dehumidifiers. Quest is phenomenal. They're industry leaders for a reason. Their units just work. They do an incredible job at getting moisture out of your grow rooms, and they are extremely reputable. Their customer service team is phenomenal. If we've ever had issues, they're always happy to hop on a phone call with us, troubleshoot any issues that we might be having, and help us get back up to running conditions as quickly as possible.
Well, let's talk about this flowering and room and how you designed it. I mean, I came in here and the lights were way up towards the ceiling, you know, very far from the plants. Let's even chat about that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So we designed our facility. It's a high bay LED facility, and we designed it so that we had a really good lighting grid. We want to be able to maximize our yields as well as get the best uniformity of light at canopy. So we went with high bay LEDs to achieve that. It creates a gap between the bottom of the fixture and the top of your flowering canopy. And what that does is it allows for you to get extra airflow between the lights and really maximizes the amount of PPFD and overall light intensity that you're getting to the canopy. We fell in love with the Thrive Agritech lights. We're using those across the board. We ran 3 different styles of lights early on at our newest facility in Kansas City. So 3 different brands. Ended up getting some results that pointed us in the direction of Thrive, and ultimately made us make the decision to go forward with the Thrive Pinnacle HP 840s. So we get very uniform lighting across the board. There's not a lot of drop off towards the edge of the tables or the fixtures, and we saw about 20 to 30% increase going from the Thrives versus one style of fixture. And then we have the Boost XEs in our veg room, as well as the regular Thrive XEs in our propagation or our clone room. So we're using that across the board in this facility. Really been happy with the results.
So on the nutrient side, you said you're running like kind of like a synganic operation, which for people who don't know, it's kind of like some synthetic fertilizers, but also some organic fertilizers. And is that how you like to run the facility at all of Elevate?
That's right. Yeah, we're basically trying to take the best of both worlds and combine them into one system. So we're running the synthetic nutrients, so you have readily available and plant uptakeable forms of elements and nutrients in your media. We're feeding at about a 2.5 EC in veg and early flower. And then from there, we kind of start to drop things down, starting in about week 5, 6. And really we're starting to peel back some of that nitrogen and telling the plants alongside some of our environmental and media or water parameters that we're adjusting, telling the plants that they're not always going to have all the food, all of the water that they might need in the cycle, and that naturally kind of causes a shift in the plants, makes them put on more flower, and really focuses their energy on some of the flower development and the bud development. We're growing in coconut core. Coconut core is awesome because it provides a really good ability to get drybacks and dial in your moisture content within the media. It has a really good cation exchange capacity, and then it also allows for inoculation of beneficial microbes. So I believe that all those things kind of paired together allow us to run a little bit more efficiently on the nutrient side of things, where we're not running 3, 4 EC like a lot of people are. We're actually running a little bit lower because we have some of the microbes in there that are actually unlocking some of those nutrients and allowing the plant to really thrive on less nutrient content overall.
Who gives you the most grief on the Elevate team?
Oh man, it depends on the day.
Danielle?
Danielle is definitely a little trickster. She likes to have fun for sure. She's a hoot, man.
Baked goods are really my things.
Not only did you make bagels for us and the team, but you bring a lot of confections from your baking in here, huh?
I don't think I ever really left the kitchen. It might be my form of stress relief. So yes, all the baked goods, cookies, cupcakes, cheesecakes, muffins, everything.
What's the best thing that Danielle has made that she's brought here? That was delicious.
Oh man, probably the bagels yesterday. Those were incredible.
Oh, those were bomb.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing?
The schedule, maybe?
On that note, I pray for you.
So your boss Danielle said that you have to interview with us or else you wouldn't get your paycheck.
You know, working here, that's fine.
Would you want Danielle's job?
Oh no, never.
We work off of a 2-week cycle, so we have basically an A week and a B week. We harvest plants on our A week, and then we do a buck down, dry harvest on our B week. These folks come in pretty much every day knowing what they're going to do, day in and day out.
My background is in plant research. So I got my bachelor's in plant science from the University of Tennessee.
So when you were going to school for plant science, were you thinking like, I gotta go for the cannabis industry?
It was always the plant, yeah.
Yeah. The University of Tennessee, I imagine, does not have a cannabis program.
No, but they have a very good plant science program.
As post-harvest manager here, tell us a little bit about the process at Elevate, like step by step, what you guys do at the plant.
First week, defoliate all the middles of the plants. Second week is defoliate the top canopy, 12 to 18 inches. And then once the plants are done, 8-week mark, whole plants get cut down, the trellis gets removed, and they're brought on racks to these rooms where they're, within about 30 minutes or so, they're hung here, whole plants. They'll get left here for 8 days. The evaluation of the process, the monitoring of the process is just a check. There's very little that I have to do in these rooms. Once we put them in here, the CannaCribs does all of the work.
Our CannaCribs system, our cure rooms that we dry in, they're absolutely incredible. I'm so used to doing a more hands-on, multiple checks, day in and day out, adjustments, dialing in those parameters, and we just don't have to do that here.
I started working with CannaCribs. That was back in 2021 when we were designing our first facility in Kansas City. The technology actually came from like fine sausage and cheese curing, which is really cool. So started working with them on a custom design and build. One of the biggest positives is definitely the consistency. I've said it forever. You could grow an amazing harvest, right? You could have a fantastic harvest and you can mess it all up in the cure phase. So what CannaCribs brings to us is that they deliver that consistency round over round, week over week, no matter what the temperature is outside.
Coming from plant research background, consistent results, are very important. To come here and to be able to work with these specific rooms and we get that same consistency every time, it makes my job very easy.
So Dave, you're the owner, inventor of the CannaCribs system, which we're inside of a CannaCribs custom design drying environment right now. So tell me how this whole thing came to be.
Well, we're here by accident. The technology really was originally developed for cheesemakers, for cheese aging rooms. Cheesemakers are needed to create an environment that wasn't a cave. We said, let's see if we can find a solution for this. Came up with a way to sort of replicate the conditions in a cave. And we started learning about bound and unbound water activity and the science behind it. And that the unbound water is what's available for mold and microbes and things to grow and create that product, make it go rancid. And then we had the aha moment. Why do we dry a cannabis flower? Well, if you pick it, it's too wet, it won't smoke. If you go to store it, it's going to go moldy. So that's when there was that aha moment of what we're looking for is the flower to become shelf stable. We found a little teeny room, which was a wine cooler. And we gutted it. We put our technology in the wine cooler, and then we gave it to a grower. And after a couple of weeks, He came back, we said, this is some of the finest flower I've ever produced. I've been growing for 20 years. What we wanted to understand is why were people consistently saying this is some of the finest flower? When we did testing, is we saw that terpene retention was much higher than conventional dry cure in rooms at 60-60 per se. The trichome heads, the cuticles, were ruptured in conventional 60-60 rooms. About 20 to 30% of the trichome heads were ruptured. Flower that came out of our technology, whether a Canatrol room like this or a Cool Cure, only 1 to 2% of the trichome heads were ruptured.
The unbound water in the environment when you're curing cannabis is something you do not want.
Correct.
And the bound water is the water that you do want in the plant in this instance.
Yes.
And it's good.
Yes.
It's the healthy amount of water. So the system is trying to get rid of the unbound water, keep the bound water. It's really
Correct.
focusing on the plant, not the environment.
What we're doing is we're creating the environment where the flower comes to equilibrium as far as its vapor pressure. So now if there's free available water, it readily can leave the flower into the room's environment, and then the equipment in the room removes that water out a drain pipe. But they come to equilibrium, now no more water will leave the flower, which would then be bound water.
So how long then do you recommend that people have their plants in a room like this?
The most important scientific metric is the water activity value. Once you start drying the flower lower than a 0.6 water activity, you're removing bound water. And that bound water is part of the product quality, flavor, taste, smokability.
So Dave, walking in here, you made a comment that I thought was very interesting, which is about the kind of the industry standard of 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 60% relative humidity, and that's just kind of what people know. And tell me a little bit about what you said.
All right, so if someone had flour and we're going back, drying out of necessity, and it might have been a rainy day, and they're bringing the flour in, well, we got to dry it. Well, they brought it into a room with an air conditioner. Well, it was warm and cool enough outside where the thermostat wasn't calling for cooling. So they needed to force the compressor to turn on. And how do you do that? You turn down the thermostat. Well, any typical comfort cooling thermostat only goes down to 60 degrees. So is that the origin of the 60? What also then winds up happening is if you purchase a dehumidifier, they're rated in the mid to high 70s as far as capacity. If you put a dehumidifier in a room at 60 degrees, it is greatly derated because it is harder to remove water out of colder air than warmer air. So taking it down to the 60 degrees only makes removing moisture more difficult and less efficient as far as energy and the psychometric physics behind it.
Well, Dave, thank you for your contribution to cannabis science.
No problem, thank you.
Tell us about like some of the different products that you guys are coming out with. That's something that's really under your umbrella.
We've always got our 8, we've got 1 gram bags. Our rooted line is a great value line. We do that in 14 gram as well as 28. We also have our pen packs, 10 half-gram joints per pen pack. We also are looking to expand our lab here. Soon we will bring on concentrates, we'll press in some hash and bring in a peak line of rosin to Illinois.
Nice. You know, the cannabis industry is still booming in many ways.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the hardest headwinds that cannabis companies have in the 2026 in the US?
There are definitely headwinds on the regulatory side of things. People were never testing these strains for their flower for pesticides, et cetera. And we really do. Like, I love that aspect of the regulatory side of things, is that we're putting out a safe product to people, which is very important. Leaning more into automation, creating efficiencies across the board. That's how we're going to make it and be successful long term.
The main thing with this grow is just the straightforwardness of it. Like, it's technologically advanced, but it's not like the bells and whistles to the point where it's like too much. We know what works, like, let's just do that. Proof is in the pudding, The cannabis industry is just it's an emerging and still very dynamic, market. You guys do the cannabis industry a huge service, honestly, to just get people interested and to show that it's not so mysterious, that, anybody can do it. Like, grows can be really well ran. Kind of opens it up and levels the playing field, and I love that.
Oh, appreciate that.
Yeah, dude, no worries. Yeah.
Thanks. This is very official. So Chris,
How much weed could a woodchuck smoke if a woodchuck could smoke weed?
I don't think THC is great for our furry friends.
that's probably a good answer. How's the dating scene out here?
It's okay, you gotta make sure you're not dating your cousin. We're out in the boonies, you know what I mean? So you gotta check the Tinder twice over, like, hey, wait a minute, is that my uncle? So, yeah.
What do you think about his dating life?
I think it could use some improvement. The stories are scary.
Hopefully this guy makes it.
Uh-oh.
Vote for Billy.
Please vote for me.
Are you superstitious?
I'm a little stitious.
You took the bait. I love it.